I made a discovery last night. Do you guys know what Ao Oni is? Well, it stands for Blue Demon, and it is a semi-famous Japanese horror game that's completely free to play. It's a very simple game with a bunch of teenagers exploring a mansion with a not blue demon chasing them. It's sort of popular here. It's like a YouTuber's game. I heard about it from watching Trasnari years ago, and at best you've seen PewDiePie or Markiplier play it, but all in all pretty forgettable, right? Well, it is far more important in Japan. Apparently Ao Oni videos have gotten over 50 million views total. There's a series of novels which retell the story, and of course, a live action movie. Now, I get it with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie rumors. I don't agree with it by any means, but it makes sense. The popularity and fame of those games is massive. But Ao Oni? I completely forgot this existed until I saw a clip from the movie in one of my YouTube recommendations. Not to say Ao Oni isn't good, the game is very effective, especially with its music. But like I said, it's simple, and as you've probably noticed, the monster looks absolutely jaw-droppingly ridiculous. So I have a hard time believing this could work as a movie. And sure enough, it absolutely does not. The film is boring, and I think the reason is the actors look so bored. Even when they were running for their lives, they just seemed so uninterested. Although I'll admit, it was also hard to be invested when the English subtitles are so badly translated. We got a classic case of English, folks.
So,
the Ao Oni itself looks bizarre. I can't tell if it's creepy or absolutely hilarious. It's the only thing interesting to watch, at least, so I want to see it at all times in its gelatinous CG glory. But for the first half of the movie, all it does is open and close doors at people, all spooky-like. And even when it's finally here, we get a lot of POV shots that tell us, hey, animating this thing is hard. This way we won't have to do it as much. It's a cheap way to have more monster time without actually having more monster time. Oh, also, so whenever the Ao Oni appears in the game, this really creepy music plays. It's genuinely spooky, and the track is so linked to the game that you can't think of one without the other. As far as I'm sure, it's the best part of the game. So how does the movie use it? Well, once, when the characters get a mysterious phone call. They made their own music for when the Ao Oni appears, and it's completely forgettable. Like, it's not even in the credits. Like, how can you forget to include something so synonymous with Ao Oni? The plot's confusing too. You'd think it would follow what happens in the game, which it does, somewhat. But the creator of the game is here too. Yeah, this kid programmed Ao Oni, and the game is in the movie. And then the game happens to play out for them for real. So anytime they find a puzzle, this kid instantly solves it, because, you know, he made the game. His friends still die, though, and they're not shy about showing gory, mangled bodies, so watch out for that. The entire film, we watch them solve puzzles while the Ao Oni picks them off one by one, and there's this weird subplot with one of the characters being a murderer, and all of it's not important. What's important is the ending, which tries to pull a Sixth Sense on us. Spoilers for The Sixth Sense, not this crap. But it turns out the game's creator has been dead all along, and no one but the girl's been able to see him this whole time, I think? But wait, no, it was actually just a dream, so you fooled us into thinking he's actually dead this whole time, only to double flip into this being a dream the whole time, and then the movie ends. Oh my god, there's a sequel, I'm so surprised. Unfortunately, I couldn't find this film with English subtitles, so I missed a lot of the story, but from what I can gather, this is literally retelling the same story the first one told, except much better. There's still the whole playing the game inside the game thing, but the characters actually look like the ones in the game, the puzzles are exactly the same, and the Ao Oni looks closer to the original too, which means he looks even sillier. But that's fine by me. If they're gonna do this, I want them to be flat out ridiculous. Which works out fine, because they add a second Ao Oni. Okay, so yes, this guy is actually in the original game, but I can't help but laugh at this thing. Especially with the minion-y sounds it's making. Wait, hold on. Is there one or is there two? Oh, there were two, but then they fuse into one off screen. That makes sense. And then they squish it. And that was the only worthwhile part of the film. Okay, it really wasn't worth watching these things. I just thought it was so bizarre that they existed in the first place that I felt like I had to talk about them. This is like if Impossible Quiz got a movie. Video game movies have enough trouble as is, but this one took such a weird, obscure thing to adapt that I'm just mesmerized by looking at it. Bottom line, play the game. The game's great. I may even replay it after this, but don't watch these movies. They're not worth the trouble of finding them.